Hello and welcome back to the channel, and yes, we have another red gaming machine. So if that seems slightly odd so soon after Show Me the Mummy, let me say up front that this is not a normal red gaming machine. Now, to be honest with you, I'd kind of forgotten about it because this layout has been around for a while now. As you can see there, Reg released it over at Desert Island Fruits back in January 2017, so like 14 months ago, and I played it an awful lot at the time. Finally sort of got my head around it thanks to a comment that somebody made on this thread. Absolutely spanked it, put nearly £1,200 through it, and then, to be honest with you, kind of forgot about it. But someone left a comment on the Show Me the Mummy video the other day, just basically saying, cheers for the video, and, you know, I really love Reds, they were the best machines ever, apart from, and then he named a couple, of which Sub-Zero was one, saying I really didn't like them. And I thought, oh yes, I remember Sub-Zero now. Now, when Reg released this, I downloaded it and played it, and started complaining quite quickly about how awful it was, because what my intention was, load it in, listen to the sound and music, because Reds often have great sound packages. I'd just force it round 2 or 3 times because, you know, it'll just be like any other Red, and then that'll be that. But I got really involved with this. It was the numbers on it were ridiculous. As you can see there, I got it to £414 in, £101 out. It wasn't letting me force it out. It was killing me left, right and centre. There was clearly something a little bit peculiar about this one. Then a guy called Bruce George basically commented on the thread and said, no, don't play that one like that, play it like this. And I had a little play around with what he suggested. I was like, yes, that's how you need to play this one. So what I want to show you in this video is the wrong way to play it, which, funnily enough, is the normal Red method of just forcing it out, and the right way to play it, which I had no idea about. And it was, like I said, this guy on Desert Island Fruits called Bruce George said, no, try this, fella, and it worked. And there were a few other horror stories on that thread as well. One guy said, yeah, you know what, I lost £300 on this in the pub once. I couldn't believe it. It's the worst Red ever. And I was kind of agreeing with him, but once you know how to play it, it's still not a great Red, I'll be honest with you, it's still not a good one, but once you at least have some idea of how to play it, it becomes less awful. So what I'm going to do with this video is I've taken a copy of my Sub-Zero game folder, and we're going to play it from where we are here and just force it out. We're just going to straight force, see how much it costs us, and see how horribly the machine plays, and generally how much of a clusterfuck it is. What I am then going to do is revert back to the original copy of the machine. So we're basically rewinding time, and we're going to go back to the exact same machine state that we've got here and do it from the same point in time, but doing it the proper way. Now, the stats on this machine aren't too bad. It's had just shy of £1,200 through it. It's running at 80.94%, so it's got a drift of £36.44p in its favour. That is to say that it owes us, the player, some money, but it won't be absolutely flying. So what I'm hoping is it will be in a reasonable mood, but it's not going to drop anything into our lap, which is a reasonable, a reasonable way of how you might find it in the wild. It's a reasonable representation. That's the word that I was fumbling for there. It's a reasonable representation of how you might find it in the wild. So the first thing that we're going to do is force this machine out from this state. Then we're going to go back in time and do it the proper way from this state. And we will kick it off with 15 quid. There's a slight curiosity with the meters on some of these Reds, in that they do work and they do record things correctly, but they only update themselves when you load the layout back in. So I'm not going to be able to get like real-time current session stats on this, which is why I'm just going to put my my money in as a number in Notepad here. That'll do. It will just record how much money I've put in, because what we want to see here is how much it's going to cost to force this out. It's a pretty horrible machine, this, in a lot of ways. For starters, if you gamble out to the top, it's just a straight £25. There's no repeat chance. So in a way, you almost don't really want that. And the only way to actually get the proper sort of big money is that feature there, big freeze in the middle, only when it's red. That is a big money. If you collect 3 Yetis, I just got one of them there, that's also a big money. And if you get to the top of the trail now, I can win a gamble here. You see there, every time you win a high-low gamble, you get a number on the dice reel there, and that moves you around. And if you get right to the top, that will be a big money. The issue with that is that, of course, it's a collect prize as well. So that is a big freeze, but I'm not going to collect that simply because it will be like a tenner or a fiver. There's no guarantee that you'll get a jackpot off it. So it has forced £4 on me there. I mean, the cash was climbing up pretty high, so you would kind of hope that it wouldn't be too far off, and that was kind of the climb that we would expect out of it, because it does owe us a few quid. So let's see how much it takes. But the problem with this is it can really, really dick you around. It loves to open the trail, and it loves to knock itself back with £5 and £7 wins. I think I've even been stiffed by that £15 one up at the top in the past as well, which of course does knock the machine right back. The only problem is it's one of the few ways to actually get to the big money at the end of the trail. Oops, sorry, I missed a hold there, but it shouldn't make too much difference. So all we're going to do, I mean, we know what the score is with Reg. You get a win, you gamble, and you're just trying to get out to the top. I mean, if I can climb straight out to a jackpot, I guess I will do that, because you could always get a decent follow-on board. So we're just trying to get 25 quid effectively by whatever means we can. So is it going to a fiver? So already we're in silly territory here now. Oh, that's okay in a way, because it knocked me down. But every time I lose a gamble, the problem is, and if I lose this one, there we are, it's forced £2 on me. So it does like to do that. Let's put another £9 in, and that'll take us up to 24. I did document my stats on that thread over at Desert Island Fruits, and they were absolutely ridiculous. The amount of money that you can put through this, and the amount that it can get behind percentage if you just force it out. What we saw, I think, with Show Me the Mummy, is that machine has basically just been straight forced from a RAM reset. That was all that had been done with it, and yet it was keeping very nicely. Oh, thank you for that. It was keeping very nicely to percentage. Now, this does not do that. If you just force it and force it and force it, I mean, yes, eventually it will do like a £50 top or something like that, but you will be so much in to get it that if you were on the real machine, you would have absolutely lost your shirt. So what we're going to do here, and that's another forced win, so thank you for that. And unfortunately, there's no real way to short circuit this, and because this is one of the older Reds, it doesn't have that kind of mega hyper mega game thing. Mega game, that's what they call it, isn't it? Where you can rattle through the money really, really quickly. So we're just going to have to do it the old-fashioned, rather slow way, I'm afraid. There's not much we can do about that. I mean, the big freeze isn't even red here, so, I mean, if you land on it twice, it will go red, but it's not ideal. But I think, for the purposes of this video, I will settle for just climbing out to 25 quid, and we'll call it good at that point. Oh, God almighty. Oh dear. And there we are, £15 forced win. Thank you very much for that. So that, I mean, I am actually in profit now, but it's not a top is the problem. So there we are. So back in. So that's about as bad as it could get, isn't it? A £15 forced win. Doesn't count as a top, so we're going to carry on. No. And it just look. And the thing is, whereas on Show Me the Mummy, we can sort of avoid it, you know, that open tomb that it just loved to do all the time. We could kind of avoid it on that and just, let's, sorry, I need to do that there, don't we? Whereas on this, because in a way you don't really want to just climb out the 25 quid because you're trying to get the red big freeze or get to the top of the trail, and unfortunately you need quite a few gambles for that. So let's see what happens on this one. That looks like an open trail to me. Yeah, you can kind of tell where it's going to land pretty early on. If that, that's going to be annoying if it loses. I mean, you can climb it out to the top of this trail. That is to say, but right down to the bottom, marvellous. And that is a £5 force win. I mean, I'm actually kind of, well, I am a pound in profit at the moment, but it's not exactly what you want from a red, is it? Where you really just want to be forcing out that top repeater and hoping to get a big top of, 50 quid or 75 quid, whereas it just doesn't seem to happen on this one. Or at least it doesn't when you're playing it like this. That's the thing. So there we are. So we're just going to keep holding, we're just going to keep playing normally, we're just going to keep forcing it out until such a time as it allows me to get a top, however much that may cost. So if that's going to be a £25 win or a top, and I'm just going to keep plugging away at it until it does it. I don't think we necessarily need to film that because we all know what that's going to look like. And I will continue to record my stats on the left hand side there. Thank you for that. Okay, we'll just get this climb and then I'll pause the video. We got open trail, yes, cheers. It's not too bad when it's a quid, but what, 2 quid or whatever. Once you start to get further up the trail, the values start to get fairly low. So that would be a good place to lose, actually, wouldn't it? Right, okay. I'm going to put another 9 quid in. I'll pause the video and I will come back when it looks like we're about to get a top. Okay, this is actually playing a lot worse now than it was before. I think that money that I got in the bank there early on and that £15 force win, I think that was just it getting the value that it had in it. That's smallish amount that it kind of owed us. Once it kicked that back, it has really gone into proper scabby play mode now. You can see how much I am into it now. I'm 87 into it. Yes, I have got 43 in the bank. All of that £43 that you can see in the bank, it is all forced wins. I haven't actually collected anything, and it's playing now as scabby as you like. I'll just let you see a couple of boards because it is rattling through it now. I think it was possible, well, it definitely was in a little bit of a happy state from the start because I did deliberately have it a little bit under percentage, and it's now kind of reverted to its more normal kind of play style, which is to say absolutely bloody horrible. And you see there straight away lost on that. And will it give me the repeat? Well, at least it didn't give me the repeat, so we're now going to have to put another 9 quid in, so that's now 96. And let's just have a couple of boards here so you can see what it's kind of playing like, because it really has reverted to type and it is now being an absolute arsehole. It really is. So let's just get that. And you can see how quick it's going through the credits as well. If it even wants to give you a win at all. Let's have a look. Let's get to the next win, because this is playing very, very much now how I remember it when I first walloped this layout around about 14 months ago, to the extent that I kind of went to Design and Fruits to almost lodge a complaint about how terrible the machine was. I mean, you saw that was just appalling, wasn't it? So we are now 105. So in real terms, that's kind of like 60 quid down now. Or 61 quid down, and as you can see, it's just not showing any signs whatsoever of perking up. I mean, it will let me have to have something sooner or later, but have a look at how this is playing here, because this can very, very, or rather is, frankly, this machine's almost kind of default state. What's it after? We've got a full wedge of them after the apples, so let's go for that. There's a real lag. Yeah, even then I thought I pressed it early, and it was still a bit too late as it turned out. So that's it. I mean, you saw how much it cost to get that board there, and that's what I do when I finally start trying to gamble up. I suppose the only small mercy there was that it hadn't done an open trail as well. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at this one. I mean, it's kicked back that third. I mean, yes, I was like a pound up at one point, or a few pounds up at one point, but You've seen there how it's rattling through this money here. So that's another... Oops. Get there in the end. So that's now another 9 quid into it. Let's have a look. Oh, just awful. And I guess in the real... I mean, yes, that £15 forced win was annoying, but maybe you think, well, okay, the machine's got some life in it. Yes, I accept I'm going to have to put that £15 back in plus percentage, but once I've done that, it should let me climb it out. Shouldn't be too expensive, and that'll give me a decent chance of getting a reasonable top, you know, a 50 top or a 75 top, and it just doesn't happen on this machine. Let's just, I'll just show you another climb here, so we're all on the same page, as it were, and we understand just how rotten this machine can be. See, I mean, the thing is, you can gamble the feature. Because if I can land on, I mean, let's see if we can climb out to the next feature exchange point. Change number. Oh god, a £10 forced win. That's not what we want, is it? We'll have one Oh, I thought it was actually going to land on it then. Oh my god. We're in this. Oh, maybe have a bonus gamble. Oh, there we are. So we have now got to the top. So what? So is that just a 25 quid as well? Okay, well, we got it that way, I suppose. It's a nice little jackpot tune, at least. So it's not a big money. That's the other thing that you can see here. Just like the funky music play. So that's the other problem that you can see with this here, is that's not a repeat chance. So it is actually, you've got to get red big freeze to get the big money, or the 3 Yetis. And as you've seen there, I've had the bonus quite a few times, and I have never got the red 3 Yetis. And what you will probably find now is that 25 has killed it. That's going to be the other issue here, is that 25 has killed it, and we're not going to get another decent climb out, we're not going to get another decent feature offer, and it's just going to take the piss now. Let's give it a couple of climbs just to confirm or deny that is the case. Let's see how far it lets us get, and that... Oh, God. I'm up to £1, fantastic. So we're on a 5 forced win now, which is brilliant. Oh dear, where's it going with this? Oh, well, one more Yeti will do it. £4, okay. Half a chance, maybe. Oh, 15 quid. Oh my god, you fucker. I mean, I think you get the point here. It just doesn't play like a normal red. Not only can you not gamble it out for the big money, as we saw there, I did actually get to the end of the trail. That's just a 25, so it seems very, very... Let's just give it one more 9 quid. And it will dick you about like this all day for fun. I did put well over £1,000 through this machine previously, and that frankly is... Oh, I thought it was going to land on big freeze then. And that is how it plays. So, I mean, I'm going to be like 50 quid down here if I don't get anything banked off this. And the thing is, the longer you go on at this, the longer that you just keep trying to force it, the more down you are going to get. You just never seem to get any kind of reasonable kickback. You know, like on Show Me the Mummy, where it was looking really, really desperate at one point, but I just kept plugging away at it, and eventually I got a decent amount of money back. It just doesn't happen on this, and you will just find that you get more and more down, and the more you push it, the more it will take the piss, and the greater your loss will be. It's a horrible, horrible machine to really dig your heels in with, and what I learned on it is that it's just never going to kick anything back, whereas Show Me the Mummy, as bleak as that looked at one point, it did kick enough back for me to at least be able to walk away. So I'd be 50 quid down there, and make no mistake that the longer I plug away at this, the worse it's going to get. And it's not even the loss in itself, it's just that it's such an awful machine to play. If you're used to playing reds and playing them a certain way, to come across this machine and find it so different it's a really awful experience to play this machine. And I know because I played it a lot in the emulator last year. So what we're going to do now is rewind time. I'm going to restore this game to how it was at the start of this session. That was 50 down playing it that way, and to be honest with you, that flattered me a little bit because the machine had some value in it to start with. So we got a biggish bank to start with from those forced wins, but that nonetheless that was 50 quid down, and honestly it would have been downhill from there as well. So I'll bring this video back when we've got this machine restored to a previous state. Okay, here we are. So this is now right back to how it was at the start of the video. It's a restoration of the game from that moment in time. We're going to do exactly the same thing again. We're going to put £15 in and we're going to play it the correct way this time, and it really is embarrassingly simple. I was kind of playing dumb a little bit in the last video because there were probably well, there are obviously things that I could have done better for certain situations I was in, but the actual correct way to play this, and if you don't know this already, it is quite simple. All you do is bonus gamble. Whenever you get on the bonus gamble here, you just push it to try and get it to give you the Yetis. Now, it doesn't always happen, and this is getting a little bit sketchy, so that's probably going to kill me. But the thing is, the machine is quite happy to give you... It almost always manages to hit it on that, even when there's only one repeat. The machine is happy to give you pissy little wins and 50p's and £1 and £1.50. So what we do is leverage that to our advantage, and we just try and bonus gamble out the Yetis, and that is really all you do. So all we need to do is get a two coloured segment bonus, and then we'll bonus gamble, and hopefully it will give us a Yeti. It doesn't always do it, and what you can do is if it gets a little bit sketchy like it is there, you can gamble up to the get the next bonus activated and try again. But I'd at least like to get a couple of Yetis lit. But it is a slight... Oh, that I'm not quite sure what I was holding there. It is a little bit of a ball ache because you've got to put up with the open trail forced wins as ever. But let's have a look. That might kill me straight away. That's rather annoying. Okie dokie. But what you will find, and this is, I mean, it's definitely the case because I put an awful lot of play into this last year, and my experience with this is that it will let you bonus gamble out for the Yetis a long time before it will let you get it any other way. That's getting a little bit sketchy there, isn't it? Ooh. Oh, extra life gone. And it might just kill me straight. Oh, okay. Well, that's so bad now. What we can just do is do it like... Okay, now I've got the Yeti now, so I can't get it again. That's probably going to kill me, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, not really much we could do about that one, I don't think. Okay, so we are going to have to put another 9 quid in. And the other thing with this is it feels a bit more like the normal red playing method in that you've got a very clear, kind of simply defined goal, whereas it almost seems like Mission Impossible when you're playing this one normally, in a normal red fashion, whereas with this, we've got a pretty... Oh, come on, there we are. We've got a pretty simple goal. Now, we're obviously... Now, this isn't really... I wouldn't call this a rip per se, because it will not let you get it off the Yeti when it's unhappy enough, but it will definitely let you get it a long time before... Oh, God, that's going to lose. It will definitely let you get it before you will be able to climb it out through the normal red force method. And I tried it enough, I played it enough last year to be pretty confident about that. So we'll have another go here. Oh, that's all we need. And bonus gamble until we hopefully get the Yeti, and then just go for the next one. There we are. Okay, so we just need to get... Oh, come on. Well, okay, well, obviously I can just take the Yeti there, I suppose, but I'm not really fancying my chances of winning this next gamble. Okay. Oh, well, it's climbed up to 25. So I could have 25 there, but we'll try it this way. There you are, and there's the Yeti. And that now is your proper big money. And there's a jackpot, but this time it's the jackpot repeater. So you can see there how I put, what was it? God knows how much through I put. And it can repeat as well, that's the other thing. So it has gone on. So there's our 25, and it has gone on, and it hasn't gone on for a 75. So you can see there that that is the way to get the big money out of this machine. We can't really gamble it out. Trying to get a red big freeze is like pulling teeth. And we've seen there that if you climb to the top and collect it, it's just a straight 25. So the way that you get the big money out on this, you saw it there, just go for any low win, bonus gamble till you get a Yeti, gamble up until you next get a bonus gamble, and what you'll find is it will cave for a big money off the bonus gamble a long time before it will let you get it off a red big freeze or anything like that. So that would be the way to play this machine. And the guy who told me about it said, yeah, he actually said I used to really like these because I could make a lot of money off them, and I don't think that many people were playing them the same way. And you can see there it does. I mean, it's not going to let me do it here. Once you've already sort of got it, as it were, it's not going to let you do it again. It's not like you can just keep going round and doing the same thing. But having said that, I'll have a go here. You never know, do you? Any chance? Well, we'll have a go. Oh, that'd be so funny if it just gave it a go. Oh, now I could have a normal big freeze. Let's try. Oh, go on. Well, I'm not really fancying this now. There we are. But you can see the difference there. So playing it this way, I'm 33 quid up, 57 bank, 24 in. The other way, I never really got any amount up, and then once I started sort of forcing it, I found myself 50 odd quid down, and it would have got worse from there. So the thing on this is pretty simple. It's a pretty simple thing to do. You get it, it's the bonus gamble and the Yeti. You basically, in fact, let's bring it down to brass tacks, you ignore the entire machine. It's like the cash climb isn't there, see the future, gamble feature, we don't care about that, we don't care about any of the features, we don't care about all this climbing ladders and ladders nonsense up here. We care about one thing only, and that is gambling the bonus to get the Yeti, to get those 3 Yetis. That's it. That is how you play this machine, and if you play it like that, it will not dick you around in the dreadful fashion it does when you play it like a normal red. So there you go, that is Sub-Zero covered. A little bit off the beaten track for reds, and one that you seem to play quite differently to a normal red. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time, and of course, thanks for watching.